So, welcome in 2025. Yeah, Lightwave. So we have a new year. So take a look on that scene, and that's the next scene I spent for the Lightwave digital community, and also I think, found that video on the Lightwave digital channel. So, and this scene package that I show here is a typical environment situation with a parkour, so that you can, if you want, animate cars or something like that to fill the scene, yeah, on the street. And this scene is proved by some from my clients. So that's, and if you load that scene, you would see that's a scene it's proved by one from my clients and is then buy it, yes, from the client to use it with Lightwave for his own animations to show some things on vehicles. Okay, so the basic idea was to build an environment with a winter optic, so a winter landscape, and show in that winter landscape some functions from vehicles. So now my client need for that the basic scene, so he can work with that. So I built a generic scene for him so that he can work with that. Yeah. So that means this scene is only for education. It's clear. So, and the simple reason is that I modeling with Lightwave Modeler the complete environment, but not the houses. Yeah. So that little industry park here, for example, or here a skyscraper, or there you see then later in the scene, it's footage and filling stuff from libraries, so that's only for education. Yeah. So you can study in that scene in what way you can build nice scenes and shading with Lightwave Instancer and with Octane. So that's the Octane scene. That means I show you now, you see it here, that's the camera here, and here you see the render output if the camera look at this point in that environment. So you can see it here. So that's looking very natural, like a winter landscape in Europe. Yeah. So you have some different trees, and on the trees are a little bit fresh snow, and the complete scene, also the street and all the things are, yeah, there's fallen snow on that. Yeah. So, and if you want to open that scene, you have to know that you have an NVIDIA card with minimum 6 GB of VRAM. So, and the reason is that the scene, you can see it here, have size from 4.5 GB. That's not much for that huge scene, but so that you know that you need that. Yeah. So, and you can see, study in that scene the way how you build shader in Octane. And you can also see in what way I use the instancer in Lightwave to create and implement that kind of plans in that scene. So the trees and all that kind of things here you found here. And I built in 5 cameras in that scene, and you can, with that 5 cameras, take a look in that scene to see what's happened in what way it was built. Yeah, so if you see the complete scene and then the shader and how it works in Octane, if you have the render output in front from your face, then you would know in what way you can create that scene. So one more time, if we take a look to that overview, so you have here the possibility that's straight a street, that's modeled in Lightwave Modeler with a little UV map trick, so you have an endless street texture that you can then tile it, build on that street. Yeah, so that at the beginning and the end of the texture have no clipping or something, so it's endless thing. So you will see it if you take a look on that street and so on and so on. Yeah. So, and that scene is a very good example to show how to work with Lightwave instancer, and you build filling stuff in the background. You see all the red ones, for example, the trees are on the horizon is to stop for the ice. Yeah, and if you work and build in with that principle your scenes, then you have a default scene you can use oftentimes. So it's not so that you build that scene, for example, for industrial visualization, and have then only use the scene one time. That's not efficient. So this is a scene I built not only for my client, so also for my own, so I call it environment library. So if another client came and say, hey, I need something, you can see a winter environment, yeah, so then I can pick up from them that scene, that what I want, yeah, or from that project file and use it one more time, or I use the same environment but make then a different make it with different plans or something like that, yeah, so that we have variations. And that's a little bit the thing behind that kind of scenes. And that is one that Lightwave can do very directly and strong for you, and that's a Lightwave instancer system, so that you can build your instances. Yeah, so everybody know in Lightwave 2024 you have also that weight brush tool to paint your plans. For that kind of planning, if I plan scenes like that, I use in the moment not that weight brush method, and the simple reason is you can see it. That's to show it here with my rendering, with my Octane licenses. It's 2019, yeah, so Lightwave 2019, but that makes no difference. Yeah, so it looks the same in 2024.1 with Octane. That's not the thing, but I show it and tell that. In that way that I would say that this instances are instanced by surfaces, by points, and so on and so on. So all the different techniques, and that it's planned before. So the complete environment is in the first painted with a pencil on a simple paper. So that way we create that route here, yeah, with that dead end here. So that little route, and that's the only what the client want as, yeah, a default parameter. He needs that, yeah. So that kind of 8-loop street, so that you have here that you can here drive your way, and that's endless and so. But all other things I can do for myself, yeah. So we have, if you then drive with a car, a really nice background situation. You have that winter landscape, and you have a little bit randomness. So if you drive, you see from time to time a bridge. So I have built in here 2 bridges, and you see some houses or industrial area and so on and so on. So that you have for the background, if the camera works and films the cars, that you have enough randomized footage to have the interest background, yeah. And you see it also if you go deep in the forest, yeah, you see that you can create really nice shots, yeah. So for example, if you begin or end a scene then with the camera in the wood, and you are not stayed directly near from the street, yeah. So, and that's a little bit the thing with that kind of scenes. That kind of scenes need a little bit more time to production. So the production time is a little bit longer. And the thing is, roundabout for that scene, I think 3 days to modeling the basics. Yeah, including I have here on the, if you take a look later on the street here, extra file on that I instanced snow parts and so on, so that it look like that snow on the street is bring outside from the street, yeah, that make make so that little bit that effect, yeah, and so on and so on. So you can talk about that scene hours, so that's not the problem. But if you build things like that, yeah, you do in the end that what the client most need, and that this was for the time I have for that scene. Then the final. So I rebuilt the last 2 weeks a little bit that scene, bring in a little bit more variation in the plants and in the trees and so, and test some things and optimize the scene, so that we have now, yeah, a 4 gigabyte scene size, and yeah, with that you can play. So I think for the experts in Lightwave, this kind of scene, I think it's normal, and we have seen that from time to time, or built for ourselves that kind of scenes. So this is also a little bit more from interest for bloody beginners, or for beginners to see general in what way it works. For example, to work with a Lightwave instancer. So now with that new function, with that new brush function, it's much more easy as I do it in that scene here. But one more time, if you plan scenes, and that's a general thing, is that you can plan every tree, yeah, if you want, in detail, or you do it not and make it with a randomizer from Lightwave from the Lightwave instancer, and define only the areas they do it, yeah. But for myself, I love it to plan a little bit more, yeah, so that you for every place have explicit the chance to influence it. So now with the Lightwave brush tool in the Lightwave instancer, that's what I would say, is it much more easier to build scenes like that as I do it here in the classic way. We are instancing on points, on surfaces, on polygons, and so on and so on, also on helper objects also. So that's now more easy as before, yeah. So I hope you have a little bit fun on that scene. That's a huge scene. So in the end, I need, I think, 5 days for the first shots that I show the clients, and then 1 day more to change some little things. So that's not a project you make overnight for quick. Yeah. So you have a part you plan that scene, and then you have the part, or the time slot there you create that scene, and then you have a little bit, yeah, I think 1 day or so they correct little things, so that the client say, okay, I buy it so and can use it for myself, yeah. So so I wish now everybody a good year 2025, and yeah, see us yeah, in the next scene or so, yeah, later. Have a nice time. Bye. And Happy New Year, you at all, yeah? Thank you. Later.